Greetings everybody, Maik Wiedenbach here. Welcome to the butt video, glutes. Today we talk about glutes. So glutes used to be a non-issue. In training, all of a sudden, everybody does them. Cable kickbacks and whatever. All right, let's take it from the top. Here's the news. You have been lied to. Big squats, big deads do not guarantee strong glutes, okay? The big exercises, they work the entire leg, but they don't isolate the glutes. So, let's get started. So I'm setting up like a 45-degree low back raise. I'm actually doing single-legged, just going down, and I'm forcing the glutes in a position where they just have to work. So you can obviously do this with both legs. That would be a great start for your glute workout. From there on, if you are more ambitious, you can do the single leg deadlift, which, as the name implies, you simply take two dumbbells or instead on one leg. This will really force the glutes to fire, as much as I hate that term, and work. So that could be like maybe 5 reps or so, 2-3 sets. And then it's always about bridges, right? Bridges. I don't like them. I just don't. Too cumbersome, too tricky to get the weight on. I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. I prefer pull-throughs. So pull-throughs are great as long as you focus on the hips traveling back, the hips traveling forward. Don't bend the legs too much. It's just the hips go back, the hips go forward. Okay? Curl the toes up, make sure lower back doesn't do any work. And then one exercise that people really don't do enough is the step up. It's a great glute exercise. It's fantastic. First, figure out the active range of motion, meaning how high can you actually go actively without using hip flexors. Then you're stepping up with one foot, and that foot pulls, and you squeeze in the glute as hard as you can on the top. Squeeze the glute, squeeze. Obviously you can do this weighted. What about lunges? Glad you asked. Lunges work if done properly. So lunges for glutes would be done in a reverse motion, stepping back really far, like almost in a kickback machine, and really hitting the glute. If you lunge shorter, something like this, you'll be doing a quad exercise. That's not wrong, it's not what you're after. The big ones, deadlift and squats, right? So the deadlift, stiff leg deadlift, let's say, done like this, which one moves the most? My lower back, right? So by default, that's the most weight. So in weightlifting, whatever joint moves the furthest away, that's the most work. Meaning, do I want to work my glutes? It would have to be like this. My glutes go back, heel stepped in, and I'm pulling through. My glutes really travel back, and I'm pulling forward. Then I get glute activation. The same goes for the squat. So in a regular squat, if I was to squat, my center of gravity would be just about like this, and my knees be over my foot. So now my quads do the most of the work. So I would have to make a point out of like really sitting back and working my glutes. So from the side, as opposed to doing this, I would have to sit back, and work my glutes. Now I actually like cable squats for this one. So especially at the end of your workout when you're fatigued or so, could be standing wide, just like so. Really sit back, activate the glutes, and make sure you're not looking out on the top. So to summarize, when training glutes, forget about the big deadlift, the big squat. You need to isolate them, which means if your hips don't travel back, you're doing it wrong.